Hello and welcome to my video tutorial on ABRSM Grade 5 Theory, Chords in Cadences. Right, here we have an example question. It says, write chords for the two cadences in this melody using chords 1, 2, 4 or 5. Now before we do anything here, we need to make sure that we have established what key the example question is in. Now if we look, we've got no sharps and flats in the key signature here. And if we have a quick scan through, there are no sharps and flats in the piece. Another clue for us, the piece starts on C. There's lots of C's in it and it finishes on a G. Starting on a C is a really good clue that this piece is in C major. So we've established the key, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create a chord chart to help us choose the right chords to go for the cadences. So I'm going to write down C major, just to remind myself that my piece is in C major. Now I'm going to create a chord chart. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the Roman numerals for the chords 1, 2, 4 and 5 across the bottom here. Now this is my method. This is what I teach my students. There are other ways to do this. Some people do it sideways on, but I choose to do this with the Roman numerals across the bottom. I've written the chords out here. Up the side, I'm going to put what we call the inversions. There are 3 that we have to worry about for this question. A, which is root position, B, which is first inversion, and C, which is second inversion. I'll cover that later, but for now, we've got A, B, C written, A at the bottom, B in the middle, C at the top. Right, going back to the fact that our piece is in C major. Chord 1 would begin on C, so I'm going to put my C at the bottom here. Chord 2, C, D, just the degrees of the scale. So I'm going to put my D at the bottom here. Chord 4, C, D, E, F. So I'm going to put my F at the bottom there. And then chord 5, C, D, E, F, G. Now these chords are triad chords. Triad chords are the root note, the third above it and the fifth above it. This means that if we're going up the chord, and chords always work from the bottom up, C, E, G, and that is the tonic triad of C major. Now you can fill in the rest of the chord chart by either going up the chords, D, go up 2 notes, F, go up 2 notes, A, or you can just go along the scale again here. So that would be D, F, A, and you can see we're going up the alphabet for music. Don't forget you've got a jump chord here because there's no chord 3. So D to F, F, G, A, B, C. Or again, you can go G, G, A, B, G, A, B, C, D. Now we have all of the chords for C major in a chord chart. This means we can now refer back to the question and we can start looking at what chord is going to be the best fit for each of these boxes to fill in. Best fit will give you the best chord, and that will automatically give you a cadence. Now you can check these, which we'll do later, but we'll do it with this method first, then we'll check it actually makes a cadence. So let's look at this first bar here, chord A. We've got an A, G, F, D. Now our important notes are A, F and D. If we look in our chords here, we can see A, F and D belong in chord 2. Which means that the best fit for that is going to be chord 2. So I'm going to put that in there. Chord B, in this bar we have a G, another G, B, A, G. So we've got G and B and G as on our main beats. G and B appear in chord 5. So I'm going to put chord 5 in that box. If we look in the last bar here, we've got C, D, E. C and E appear in chord 1. So I'm going to put chord 1 in that box. Going on to here, I have F, E, D, A, D. Now that's a lot of notes, but I have F on the first beat, D on a beat, A on a beat and D on a beat. D, F, A is chord 2. And then the very last bar, I have B and G. B and G appear in chord 5. Now that I have done that with best fit, I'm going to go back through and make sure that I've actually got cadences. The last 2 chords on each line are what create the cadence. Chord 5 to chord 1 is a perfect cadence. Chord 2 to chord 5 is an imperfect cadence. So we have now answered the question with best fit chords, and we have created 2 cadences, so that is the answer to that question. Now you might be wondering why I've done a detailed chord chart with inversions. I get my students to do this because I think it is good practice. When they move on from grade 5 theory, there are obviously inverted chords that they will be dealing with, so it's good for me for them to be able to do this from now. It's not necessary for this question, but it is necessary for another question that I will be covering next time. Thank you very much.